Okay, so guys, welcome to your class 3. Today I will cover these particular topics, and apart from this, first I will tell you the lab setup, guys, how I will do the how my lab is looks like. Okay, so if I'll go into my notepad here, what I'm having right now, guys, I'm having my Palo Alto firewall. This is my Palo Alto firewall. I am running this firewall into the VMware workstation, guys. Okay, this Palo Alto firewall have a one interface, which is management interface, right? And this or the first adapter of my Palo Alto firewall, that adapter I have set as a netted, right? Net adapter. On this management interface, I'll configure the IP into 192.168.1.150/24. I'll configure this IP address, and default gateway is 192.168.137.2. M0/0 net means I have connected with VMNet 8, guys. Okay, this is the first adapter of my Palo Alto. I'll have one more adapter, which is Ethernet 1/1. This interface I have set as a bridged, right? Bridged with my system NIC card. So I'm using here Ethernet NIC card. Maybe in your case you are having Wi-Fi NIC card. So I have just bridged it. And the thing is, from my Wi-Fi, I'm getting the IP address into this range, which is 192.168.1.0/24. I'm getting the IP into this range. So I'll configure here IP address, which is 192.168.1.250/24. And when I'll configure one default route, I will just point this default route towards 192.168.1.1. This is the IP address of my home Wi-Fi from where I am getting the internet. So this is the second adapter in my VMware. I have one more interface, which is Ethernet 1/2. I'll use this interface as a inside interface. This is your outside interface. Okay, means this I'll put in outside zone. This interface I will put in inside zone. And this Ethernet 1/2 has a connectivity with VMNet 01. In VMNet 01, I'm using this subnet, if you guys remember from the lab setup class. So I'll use here 10.1.1.250/24 IP address on my firewall. I will also install one Windows 7 machine or Windows XP machine. So in your case, you can just install Windows 7 machine, guys. Okay, this Windows 7, but I'm using here Windows XP. Now what I will do, I'll just connect this, and I will also put this particular VM into VMNet 01. I'll configure the IP address, which is 10.1.1.100, and default gateway on this machine I'll configure as a 10.1.1.250, means IP address of my Palo Alto firewall. Okay, this is the test machine, okay, which I will basically put behind this Ethernet 1/2 interface, which is equals to your VMNet 1. And this interface, this machine also I will put into VMNet 1. I'll also have one more interface, which is Ethernet 1/3. So this is your first adapter, this is second, this is third, this is fourth one, and this adapter is equals to VMNet 02. And here I will use the IP address, which is 10.2.2.250/24, because VMNet 2 as having IP address into this range, right? Now I have shared Linux servers, right, guys? So this is my Linux server 1, this is my Linux server 2. When I will open this Linux server, I will put them into VMNet 02. This also on VMNet 02. This server having IP address 10.2.2.101. This server having IP address 10.2.2.103. 102. Server 1 having 10.2.2.101. server 2 having 10.2.2.102. So this is, guys, my left setup. Now what I can do, if I'll go into my VMware, if I'll go into my Palo Alto VM, if I'll click on settings. So if you see my adapters, I'm having adapters like this. So this is the lab, guys. So what I can do, let me just delete everything here. See, this interface is my management interface, which is a part of your VMNet 08. Okay. I have one more interface, which is this one. This is equals to Ethernet 1/1, which is a bridged one, right? Which may have a connectivity with your Wi-Fi adapter. I'm having this interface, which is your inside interface. This interface equals to Ethernet 1/2. This equal to Ethernet 1/3 is a part of B02, which is DMZ. And this interface is equal to Ethernet 1/4. This interface equals to Ethernet 1/5. 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and 1/5. Like that, I'm having my interfaces. You need your interface till Ethernet 4, guys. If you don't have this one, this adapter, don't worry. So I'm having the adapter settings like this, and this is how I have connected these things. Okay. Now this is the VM configuration on my Palo Alto VM, right? And now if I'll go into my test machine, so this one, if you see, this test machine is a part of your VMNet 1, which means what I will do on this machine, I'll configure the IP 10.1.1.100, and default gateway I configure IP address my Palo Alto as a default gateway. So whatever traffic initiated by this machine, it will send that traffic to the Palo Alto inside interface. Okay. So this is the setup of my Windows XP machine. Maybe in your case, it's a Windows 7 machine. Okay. Now, if I'll go into these Linux servers, I'll open server 1, I'll open server 2. See, if you see server 1 is a part of VMNet 2. Server 2 is also a part of. So this adapter I have to change actually, because let me just go into settings. Into adapter, this is not bridge, this is this adapter. Okay, it's actually it's a VMNet 2 actually. Sometimes you will see this setting will not appear. Now see, this server is also part of VMNet 2. Now guys, how you can install this server? What you have to do, if you have you have to download these files actually. So let me just remove them. If I'll remove here like that, let me just remove one of the server from this list. Okay, now I have already shared these particular servers, so I'll go into my desktop, documents, okay, and into virtual machines. So I have shared these servers, guys, with you. If I'll go into this server, you have to basically open one small file, which is virtual machine configuration file. This particular file you have to open with VMware Workstation, and you will able to see your servers here like this. If adapter setting is incorrect, just change that adapter setting. That's it. Just click here, select, okay. And this server will be part of your DMZ network now. So like this, like that, we will basically open this. We don't need to install them. You need to install this Windows XP machine. So this is the left setup, guys, in my setup actually. Okay. I'll also configure one particular lab into my EVNG. In EVNG, if you have seen, I'm having my Palo Alto firewall. Okay, Palo Alto firewall management interface have a connectivity with your VMNet 8 actually. How you can select this VMNet 8? If I'll right click on this cloud, see, you have to select a cloud 0. Cloud 0 is equals to your VMNet 8 here actually. This cloud is equals to cloud 1 is equals to your Bridge network means I'm connecting with the internet. How we can see these settings are like that? If I'll go into my EVNG here, if I write settings, like click on my settings, see, this net means cloud 0. This means cloud 1. This equals to cloud 2. This equals to cloud 3. These are the meaning of this cloud. So if I'll select cloud 0, which means I'm connecting my device with the VMNet 08, because VMNet is a NAT adapter, right? If I'll select cloud 1, which means I'm connecting this particular entire with the Wi-Fi NIC card or my Ethernet NIC card in my case. If I'll select this cloud, which means I'm connecting with the machine who is a part of VMNet 01. So this is how basically these particular connectivity is. So this is the guys all about the left setup which I'm having in my system, guys. Okay, and you don't need to create these labs. What I'll share you all these particular files, so you have to only export these files into your EVNG. Okay, I'll import and I'll send you all these files, so don't worry with that. So this is the lab setup, guys. Okay, now let me just go with the actual session. So guys, in Palo Alto, we are having two types of configuration. First one is candidate config, second one is running configuration. Okay, so I hope most of the peoples are coming from the Cisco backgrounds, right? Most of the peoples are from the Cisco background. So the thing is, let's suppose I'm having Cisco ASA firewall, or I'm having Cisco router. If I'll make any changes on ASA or on this router, that change will go right away into your running config file, right? And we run that command, which is write mem command, write memory command. That running configuration will save into your startup config file. This is the concept of Cisco, right? And when these devices, let's suppose due to some power outage and all, if these devices rebooted automatically, so when these device comes back up, they will always load the configuration from your startup config file, right? But in Cisco ASA, in Palo Alto firewall, it is totally different, guys. Whenever you will make any changes, it will save into the candidate config file. So whenever you make any changes, it will save into the candidate config file. And when you hit the commit, actually, commit command, that candidate config file basically copied into your running config. So means if you done any kind of changes, it will not directly in effect. It will always go into the candidate config. We have to hit this commit command. Then only this will basically appear into the running configuration. And whenever your Palo Alto file reboots, it will always load the running configuration file, guys. So don't be confused with that. That's the meaning of your candidate config and running config. Okay. What I can do, if I'll go into my firewall. Okay, so if I'll go into my firewall, if I'll right now, you will see if I'll click on commit, I don't have anything to commit actually. So what I can do, let me just go into my device tab. Let me go into this object, into address object, and I'll just add one address object here. Okay, I'll add the test object. I'll give the IP address 1.1.1.1. Click on OK. So guys, I have just added this particular address object. So if I add it here, it will save into the candidate configuration file. How you can verify? Just go to into the device, config audit. See, you will see here running config panel and candidate config panel. What I want to see 20 lines. If I'll click on go, it will give you the result here. See, If you see, this is your running configuration, this is candidate configuration. So in running configuration, we have added this address right away, right? Which means we have just added one address here, and you will see this particular address with this particular name. Means it is right now in a candidate configuration file. This is your running configuration actually. If you click on all, if you go, you will get all the configuration. If you want to basically monitor, you can monitor it. It is just preparing the config audit results. So it will take some time actually. 100% completed. Now here you can see all the results actually. What is the configuration you are having in your firewall, you can see. But see, this is the address I have added, and it is in a, it appear into the candidate config, right? So if you click on commit here actually, you will get these options: commit all changes, commit changes made by you. So the thing is, if you basically, if you click on this one, commit all changes. So let's suppose there are two admins, admin 1 and admin 2. Both admin is making the changes actually. Now if this, see, he has done some changes, and now this admin press the commit actually. So if you click on this commit all changes, which means you are basically saving all the changes actually. Means it will also save the changes which is done by this particular admin. If you select this particular option, commit changes made by admin, means, which means here I am basically saving the changes which is done by me only. Okay, that's the meaning of these two options. Okay, so what I will do, I'll always have a habit of selecting this option actually. I will always save the changes which is done by me actually. Now you will get these details here. If you click on preview changes, it will give you the result actually, what are the changes you have made actually. So if you see here, you will get these three options. Edit. Edit means if you see anything with this green option, which means you have added the new configuration. If you see modified, you will see this particular yellow color there. If you delete anything, you will see with the name of, with the red color actually. And here you can verify what is the changes you have done actually. So here we have just added this address. Why it is showing yellow? Because that address is present in my firewall. Okay, because today I have just cleaned this firewall for you guys. That's why it is showing this one. Otherwise, if I'll add this with some different name, you will see here the edit option, which is with the name, with that particular green color actually. So by this, you can basically preview the changes, and just try to make this habit, guys. Always try to preview the changes whenever you do the commit. Okay. Click on change summary. It will basically tell you what are the major changes you have done. Okay. And validate the config. It will basically validate the configuration. If there is any error, it will basically give these errors here actually. And also, guys, when you are working in a production environment, what I have seen, let's suppose in your Palo Alto firewall, 10 errors is available in your configuration. Okay. So if you will not validate here the config, and if you directly try to commit your configuration, what you will do, in the first commit, you will only get one error. Maybe this error is complete. When you resolve this error, when you again do the commit, second error will appear. When third error will appear in the third attempt, right? So here you have to do multiple attempts, guys. And as maybe you are having a window of 30 minutes for making some changes, or maybe a window of 2 hours, right? Maybe this particular window is exhausted. If you will go with this approach, so just try to validate your configuration, guys. If you find errors, just try to validate first. Okay, right now, see, right now I don't have any error, so I'm getting this validation is complete and it is successful. Okay, so just try to make this habit, guys. Make the habit of validation as well when you are. Now let me just do the commit here. The meaning of this commit, I am now just saving the candidate config file into the running config file. And always remember, guys, this candidate config file is a part of your management plane. This file is a part of management plane when you, and running configuration is a part of your data plane. This file is always loaded into your data plane. Okay, so maybe in interview they will ask, so you have to answer in this way. Okay, let me just go into my whiteboard. So the thing is, guys, running configuration is the active configuration on your firewall. Okay, candidate config, what is shown in the UI, becomes running configuration upon running the commit command. So we have to run the commit actually if we want to save our changes, whatever we have made actually. Okay, so we have to basically take care of that part. Now if I'll go into this particular slide, so always your candidate config is a part of management plane. When we hit the commit, it will basically go into the running config, and that's a part of your data plane, guys. Okay, now what I can do, if I'll go into the again into this object, what I will just add the object, like let me just add the object which is ABC. I have add this object 1.2.3.4. I'll give this IP here. I will add one more object DFG, give the IP address 2.2.2.2. And whatever test config I am having, let me just delete this one. Let me do the, what I can do now, let me just click on commit and let me just preview my changes. This time you will see in test, you will see this one, and I have basically added this one, right? So what I can do, let me just add something else here. So what I can do, I'll go to into the network tab. Let me add some zone detail here. Okay, I'll just add a zone which is test zone. Okay, I'll click on this one. Let me just do the commit. Let me just preview the changes. So you will see zone based this particular, and why I'm saying, because I have deleted so many things today. So that's why there are lots of configurations are there in my firewall. So that's why I'm saying this particular modified option, because there are so many zones are there that time. Okay, so if I'll configure new thing actually, so what I can do in object, I was using these filters. Let me just create one address group. Okay, app group, I will add one application group. Let me just add few applications here, not few, I will add one only. Let me add this one, let me add other, let me do the save. Let me just click on commit. Let me just preview my changes. See zone, you will see in this, see application group, you will see with this particular name. Okay, and if I'll add one more group, let me just select this one, let me clone this one. Okay, I'll clone this one more time. I'll clone it one more time. Let me just add few extra applications here. Okay, I want to show you this particular modified config actually. Preview, let me just do the preview my changes. See, I'm getting only this particular option. Okay, red option, this particular option is not coming. I'm not sure, because there was lots of configuration I have done in this firewall. So that is the maybe reason. Okay, I am also having one more firewall here. Okay, let me just try to access this firewall as well. HTTP. So this firewall I'm running in my EVNG 192.168.137.160 is the IP address of that firewall. This firewall is not having any config. It's a version 10. Okay, I will also try to do some testing on this firewall as well. for the same actually. Let's wait here. It's just loading. Let me close it. If I'll go into object, remind me later. If I'll click on object, if I'll add one more object here like inside net, I will use here 10.1.10.0/24. Click on OK. Let me click on commit, preview my changes. See, I will get, if I will add any newly object, I will give with this particular name actually, okay, with the green option. So on that firewall, I have done some work from previous, that's why it is showing in this way, okay. If I'll change the object here, let me just do this thing. And let me also delete this one, which I have created, okay. And if I'll go into commit, if I'll preview my changes, it will show you the result. You see, this one I have modified, so modified with the yellow option, and deleted one I'm not able to see right now. So what I can do, let me also delete this one. Inside cannot be deleted because so it is having some references in the security rules here. Actually, that's why, okay. So let me just see some rules. Let me just try to delete these two rules, okay. I'll just delete these rules. Now let me again do the preview. So just guys, just play with these options. You will get everything here, okay. See, I have deleted these rules, right? So you will get all these things. Okay. So you have to understand these things. Now, there is a one more thing you need to understand, which is, let's suppose I'll go there. Let me add one object here. I will add object which is DMZ, and I'll just add with the name of 10.2.2.0/24. Click on OK. If I'll go into this device tab, into setup, into operations. So guys, sometimes you will see one option, which is this option, save changes actually. If I'll click on this one, it will just save the changes into my candidate config file with the this particular name. If I'll click on this one, click on save changes, nothing is there for the saving. So the thing, if you see that name has been appeared, let me just show you that name. So when we run this command, it will basically save your candidate configuration into a file with the name of .snapshot.xml actually. Okay. And the thing is, if you are clicking here actually, you can use that option, or either you can use this option, save the configuration candidate config. These options are similar actually. Okay. Even though if I'll go there, if I'll click on revert the changes, which means whatever changes I have done, it will revert these changes. This revert option is equals to revert to the last saved configuration. Okay. So don't be confused with these ones. These are the meanings of this thing. Actually, if I'll go into this one, see, DMZ object has been removed now. Okay, now let me again go into device tab. So if you want to, let's suppose you want to revert with the running configuration file, right? So the thing is, what, let's suppose you have done some changes. Okay, let's say you have done around 20 changes. Okay, and you have committed, you have run the commit. So your changes is now in a running config file. Okay, after that, what after that also you have done some 10 changes. Okay, you've deleted something, you've added something, and you forget actually. Now, if you want to come back here at this particular point of time, what you have to run this command, revert to the running configuration file. Whatever changes you will make, all these changes will be lost and you will be basically revert into your running config file right now. So what I can do, let me just show you this thing. Okay, I'll go into this object. So I'm having one object here. Okay, let me add one object. So I will add here DMZ object. Or before that, what I can do, let me just, no commit is there. Okay, so what I can do, let me just rename this one. Okay, I'll just rename it like this. I'm having this object only. Let me just do the commit right now. Okay, which means I am just making my changes permanent right now. Okay, and after that I'll delete this object. I'll make some changes and we will use that revert option. Okay, so it will take some time. Meanwhile, let me go there. So if you see these options, like these three things, they are these three things done at the local level. Okay, revert, save and load operations all are managed configuration locally to the firewall, right? Sometimes if you want to export the configuration to the outside, you can able to export it by using this particular option. If you want to import these exported config files, you can also use this option, import option. So let's suppose you want to do some changes on the firewall. So what you can do first, just save a one configuration named configure snapshot and just export it into your machine. Do your changes. If your changes is, let's suppose you have done changes and your changes is not good. Now your customer is saying you have to roll back that things. How you can do that? Just whatever config file you are having here, import the configuration file and after that load it. You don't need to delete the one by one things. So this is also like one more option is there. We can also use that option, guys, in Palo Alto. Okay, let me just see what is the status now. So it has been completed. Okay, in a backend. Now what now? I will add one object here, which is DMZ 10. I will use a 10.2.2.0/24. I'll add one more object, DMZ 20, with the IP address of 20.1.1.0/24. And I'll just delete this one. And I'll just save my config. Okay. Now, if I'll go into this device tab, let's say I forget what are the changes I have done. So what I want to go into the running configuration. So just click on revert to the running config, click on yes. If you go into object, see, you will get this exact object. Whatever changes you have done, they will remove from your device. So this is how we will use this particular revert option, guys. You will have a save to candidate config, which is equal to this one, which means we are just whatever changes we have done in our UI. Now we want to just save this change into the candidate config file. We will use this option, or we can also click on save non-named configuration. Actually, we can also save our config like my config, which I have done on, maybe you can select date and time, whatever you want. Okay, my config, I'll give this name. I'll just save my configuration. I have just saved this named configuration file. I do my changes. If I want to load, you can also load your named configuration from here after doing any changes. You can also load the configuration version actually. So in Palo Alto, when you do the commit, it will create the versions actually, version 2, 3. You can revert your config according to these versions as well. You can load them. Export option. So in export option, we are having these three things. export to a name configuration snapshot. So whatever config you will save with the name, you can export them. So let's say I have saved the config with this name, right, which is my config. I can export them, this config. I can also export my running config file if I want. Let me just select this one. I'll just export this file. Let's go into and just save. This file has been saved actually. Export the configuration version. You can also export your configuration according to these versions actually. Okay, the recommended one are always be either we export the running config file or either we export the saved config file. So the thing is, when you guys, when you will run this export command, and when you will export these config only, these two things when you will use, they will not export all the configuration actually of your device. Let's suppose you are having certificates, that certificate thing will not be exported. If you are having global protect configuration or IPsec site to site VPN configuration, this configuration will not exported by running this particular command. So the thing is, if you want to export it, these config as well, you have to export with this device state actually. Export this device state and you will get one TZ file. Just extract this TZ file. Let me right click. Let me just extract here. You will get one more tar file. You will get, just extract it. And you will get these template, certificate information, device state, right? Just after left setup, you will get these running config, satellite config information. All these particular info you will get through this file. Okay. This is the meaning of this export. Now, if you want to import it, you can import the name configuration file, right? My config, you can import it. If you lose the config anyhow, you can also import the device state. Just browse and select that particular file, which is this particular file, kfg.tz. You can export it, and after that, what we have to do, we will import them and we will load them if we want to load into our into our firewall running configuration. So let's wait. This particular takes some time, this loading and all. Meanwhile, I'll go there. So we will use these options for this thing, guys. These are the some Palo Alto. In operation tab, you will get this configuration management utility, and you need to know all of them. Okay. Now see, you can load the named configuration. See, and also you can load the, even though, let me click on load. This file is there. Okay, let me click on load here. Config version is there. So you can load like that actually, this particular file. Okay. So these are the few things which I want to discuss. Now, if you want to shut down your firewall, what you can use these two options. By running this command, it will restart your firewall. If you use this shutdown device, it will just shut down your device. So these are the graphical user interface option for shut down your device or restarting, for restarting of your device. Okay. Now these are the power options, guys, right? So if you want to, let's suppose you want to restart by using the CLI, use this command, request restart system. Let me use here different color. We use this command, it will basically restart the system. If we use this command, it will just shut down your system. If you use this command, request restart data plane, it will just restart your data plane. So let me just, I am having a CLI access of my firewall. If I run this command like request system, I will press the question mark. See, not this one, system restart. Request system restart, it will basically restart your system. Okay. If I run this command request shutdown system, it will shut down the system. Request If I run restart, if I press the question mark, you will only get the system option. You will not see this data plane option, because right now it's a VM firewall. We will get the dedicated data plane into the hardware boxes. Okay, that time we will see this particular data plane command. Okay, so what I can do meanwhile, if you see here, I'm also having this particular firewall, right? I'm running this firewall into EVNG, right? This one. So what I can do, I'll log in into this firewall admin at 123. And I'll do the restart here. Actually on this system I can basically run, because I need one firewall just for the, just to show you the things actually. Okay, so I'll just request system restart. If I run this command, request restart system, if I run this command, it will basically restart the whole system. Like this, you can execute this command. Okay, and it will just restart this system properly. Let me close. Let me open one more time. Now you will see it is stopping the pan softwares. You will see the process here. Okay, so this is how these things basically works, guys, these particular commands. We will also see how, if you want to factory reset that system, you can use this command, request system private data reset. I'll also tell you another options as well. We can also basically reboot this system through the maintenance mode. And when we run this command, debug system maintenance mode, it will take us into the maintenance mode, guys. Okay. Now let me just tell you, you also need to know two most important things in Palo Alto, which is Palo Alto support portal and Palo Alto update server, guys. And this is the URL of Palo Alto support portal. This is the URL of Palo Alto update server. Okay, so now let's suppose you have received your device. We have got one physical device. Okay, or a maybe VM device. Now what happens? Now let's suppose you want to do the licensing on this device. So what do you have to do? Because this device always come with the something called serial number in case of physical hardware devices. When you install any VMware, you have to basically look for CPU ID and UUID. These two things we have to basically look. And we use that serial number for registering this device into the Palo Alto support portal, guys. We have to go into this www.supports.paloaltonetworks.com, and we will register our device with the serial number, where what we have to put the serial number of the device, we have to put the host name of the device. Host name is optional. Okay, we have to put the address of this particular device, guys. And if you are having a premium support license, in that case, just try to put the correct address there, guys. Okay, because Palo Alto basically, let if you will do the RMA of your devices due to any hardware issues and all, they will always send the device into this address, and they will check their database according to this address only. So this address should be accurate actually. After that, when you register this device successfully in the support portal, right? So the thing is, now you will also receive the auth code actually from the Palo Alto, authorization code. Okay, and these auth code basically you will also enter with this device if you want to license it. For the licensing of this device, we have to basically put these authorization code actually. So when we will basically put these auth codes, so all the license gets activated into the Palo Alto support portal. Now from there, either we can fetch these auth code, these license details from the firewall itself, but in that case, my firewall need a connectivity till the www.support.paloaltonetworks.com. I need an internet connectivity from my management interface or maybe any other interface till that particular portal. if you don't have a internet connection on your device, what you can do, you can download the license files and you can manually upload them into your device. So this is how basically, that's why we will use this www.supports.paloaltonetworks.com. We will also have one more thing, which is updates.paloaltonetworks.com. So the thing is, this is the portal from where your Palo Alto 5 download all kind of updates. Let's suppose you want to download the application ID updates or application signatures. You want to download antivirus signature, anti-spyware signature, vulnerability protection signatures, right? URL filtering signature database. So the thing is, you need a connectivity till updates.paloaltonetworks.com, and from there you Palo Alto Firewall fetch the latest updates, and it will basically show you into the Palo Alto UI where you can basically download them. You can also schedule the downloading of these particular softwares. So you also need a connectivity till this particular updates.paloaltonetworks.com. Okay, so what I can do, I'll go into my this and I'll just take a help of the support portal. I'll show you one snapshot how this support portal looks like actually. So if you see in this one, actually this particular image, guys, we use this support portal for, let me just use little bit this color, okay, here. So we use support portal for downloading the Pan OS software releases actually. Let's suppose there is a new release of Palo Alto Firewall. What we have to download from there actually. If you go to into this update, where you will get all the Pan operating system. Pan software updates is there. You will also get the updates for applications. All these kind of updates also you will basically get into this particular place. If you want to retrieve the dynamic updates, license key check is also basically we will perform from this supports.paloaltonetworks.com. But you have to log in with your credentials, and after that you will basically able to see this particular UI. If you click on this register a device, basically it will basically help you for the registration of your device, where you have to put your serial numbers, device name, address. These details you have to put, and your device will be added into the Palo Alto support portal. Okay. If you want to, let's suppose you want to open a tech case. In that case also you can open the tech case from this support portal. If you see support cases, you can also, so from there you can open the tech case as well from this support portal itself actually. Okay, you will see the assets in this particular place. You will got all your devices, how whatever devices you are having, all these devices you will be able to see into the assets. Okay, so all these things basically we will manage through this particular support portal. Now you also need to understand the update. Let me just increase the size of this particular image. Update server is responsible for application updates, thread updates, antivirus updates, right? All these kind of updates that will basically download from my firewall, download from that particular update server, which is updates.paloaltonetworks.com. So I need a connectivity till this particular website, guys. Okay. So don't be confused. We have to allow generally access of these two portals actually in our network. So these are the things which we have to. Now let me just explain you the licensing actually, how licensing is happened. Okay, so how many types of license we are having in Palo Alto. So if I'll go into my Palo Alto, if I'll go into the license here, and if you see the things here, you will get these license actually. So when you will see Pan VM, this is a base license actually. This is a base license. Pan VM is a base license. Okay. If you want a DNS security, in that case, you have to basically, you need a one DNS security license, Palo Alto Networks DNS security license actually. If you want a URL route cloud URL filtering license, you have to purchase this license. So there is a PAM-VM license, which is a base license. Then there is a license for DNS security, license for Bright Cloud URL filtering you need. And you also, if you want a PAN-DB URL filtering license, you can also purchase that license. So for URL filtering, you require around 2 licenses, PAN-DB URL filtering and Bright Cloud URL filtering. If you want to configure the Global Protect, for that you also need a license, Global Protect gateway license, Global Protect portal license. Okay. If you want a like you, if you purchase this threat prevention license, it will take care of your application updates, your antivirus updates, anti-spyware updates, your vulnerability protection updates is a part of your threat prevention license. Wildfire license is also you need, which is a wildfire license you need require for the wildfire features. So these are the few license. Premium license is also there. It will basically tells you are having a tech support or not. If you want to do the RMA, what is the basically minimum hours, maybe 4 hours, and 4 hours they will deliver a new device into your location. So it based on this particular premium license is there, standard license is there, these kind of supports is there. Okay. You will also see license for autofocus and all, because I have not used that feature. If you want a Cortex data lake, then you need a logging service license as well, but not required actually. So the thing, if you see here into license management, if you click on this one, retrieve license key from the license server, what it will do? In that case, my Palo Alto firewall go to into the Palo Alto supports, Palo Alto network supports portal, and what it will fetch the license details from there. If you click activate feature license using authorization code, in that case, you have to enter your auth code actually. If you click on manually upload the license key, what you can do? Add your auth code against your device into the support portal, and from there later on you can just download these license keys and you can just manually upload them. That's the best way, which people in the production environment, generally you don't get the internet through your management interface directly. If you're working in a large organization, you don't have access of internet directly. Okay. But because all the devices managed through Panorama, and this Panorama have the access till the internet, your firewall will not have. So the thing is, the best way in that scenario, just register your device with the support portal, use your auth code against that device and download the license keys and manually upload them later on. That's the best way. Okay. So these are the few things which I want to discuss with regards to your licensing, guys. Let me go there. Let me just see if I'm having any image for license management. It's the same snapshot which I have taken from my device actually. So if you see license types, Palo Alto have, these are the license, like you need a threat license. If you want IPS functionality, which is antivirus, anti-spyware, vulnerability protection, and app database, if you want, you need a threat prevention license. You have a 2 license for URL filtering, Bright Cloud and PAN-DB. I'll tell you what is Bright Cloud, what is PAN-DB in your URL filtering class. You will have a standard support license and premium support license. These licenses for tech support, you are opt for tech services or not, and also for RMA of your device in case of any faulty device. You also need a license for virtual system, and this virtual system you can only able to create into physical devices. Like in basically in VM devices, this feature is not available. You need a license for Global Protect, you need a license for Wildfire. So these are the few license types actually in your Palo Alto firewall. Okay, now let me go into the software updates. Let me just tell you what are the things you will get inside the software updates actually. Okay, so the thing is, By using the software updates, you can upgrade your firewall. You can download the softwares. You can install them later on. Base images also you can able to download from there. Okay. And these are the ways. If you run this command manually install, you can use the web UI and CLI as well for installing these particular updates, guys. What? Request system software info. If you run this command, it will basically give you what kind of updates you are having. Request system software. By running this command, if you want to install it, you can install. If you want to download, you can download. You can use this CLI command. Let me just tell you the CLI command here. I'll go there. I run this command request system software, press the question mark. If we use this check option, which means what it will do, it will go into the Palo Alto firewall website and it will check for the latest softwares. Okay, this is equal to this one. If I'll go into my Palo Alto device tab into softwares, right, I am not able to see anything because my license is expired. If you click on check now, it's equals to this one actually. You can also upload the manually. You can just download the software from the website and you can upload manually. You can also get this one. Okay, so it will check. If you click on download, you have to give the version number. It will basically start downloading of that software. And if you click on install, give the version number, it will basically install the software. You can also load the configuration actually if you want. Okay, so these are the few basically. These are the commands which you have to also needs to understand if you want to manage this software thing via CLI. But I'll recommend just try to manage by these thing via graphical user interface. Okay, that's not a recommended way. Now let me go into your dynamic updates. Let me tell you something about your updates actually. So the thing is, by using this dynamic updates tab, you can able to manage your application updates. Palo Alto sending any kind of updates, signatures for apps, you will see. And every Tuesday evening, you can able to, they will post, you can download them. Thread updates, every Tuesday evening, they will launch a new thread updates. You will get the antivirus update daily actually. URL database, you can also basically schedule them. You can also install a file actually. You can download the file and later on you can install it. So you will get all these settings here. Okay, if you want to manage them, if I'll go into the graphical user interface, if you see I'm having this dynamic updates tab here. See I'm having these updates, right? So if I can also click on check now, so it will basically check for all these updates because I'm not having any license. So this check will failed actually because my license is expired. Okay, so I'll just put this check option here. And if you see here, guys, you can also get the schedule option. You can schedule these updates. So what your Palo Alto file, go to into the Palo Alto update servers and it will download these basically updates from there. And also you can just select download only or install only. It if you download, select the download, it will download it. If you select install, then it will basically install it. If I'll go into the schedules, you can just schedule them manually, hourly, daily, weekly, like that. You can do the scheduling. Sunday, like at Sunday at 12:15 in the night, just download. Action is download or install both. If you select both, it will download and it will install. You can also, these are the application thread related updates. You can also schedule them. Like I will schedule weekly on every Tuesday. I will set around. So what I can set around, just download around 1 a.m. in the night. Just download and install. Like that, I can do the scheduling of them, guys. So this scheduler is active now. You can also manually download them if you want. Click on this download option. It will just do the download right away. This is the manual approach. This download will fail due to the license. This is for Global Protect clientless VPN updates, Global Protect data file updates. See, download is going on, but it got failed, I hope, at 99 or some percentage. Maybe. Let's see, it is in 99%. It's got failed actually. Let's wait here to see. File successfully downloaded. Oh, file has been downloaded successfully. That's great. But if you click on install, let me just click on install option here, which means I think I have not tested this one. So the thing is, you can, but maybe install will fail actually. Okay, so like this, you can basically control your dynamic updates, guys. Just for wildfire analysis, I will always set this download via every 15 minutes. Just download them. I'll schedule them like that, because download only, you can also select download and install, both options. See, installation has been failed due to the license. Okay, you can able to download them. You can also control these things by using the CLI commands. These are the command request content. So if I'll go there, let me just type a request command. So if I'll type a content, it will basically downgrade, upgrade the content related stuff. What you can upgrade, you can download, check, info, install, like all these options you will get. Antivirus, by running this command, you can basically perform the antivirus downgrade function, upgrade function. I'll always recommend to go for upgrade and just install, check, download. These kind of CLI command also you can use for managing all of them, guys. Content upgrade info, request content upgrade install, request antivirus upgrade, request antivirus, request URL filtering. You can run these commands for basically managing your dynamic updates. So these are the few things I want to discuss with regards to dynamic. Let me also explain you how to activate these particular devices. It's a normal process, as I have mentioned multiple times. So the thing is, if you want to activate a physical device, what you have to do, you have to log into the support portal with your credential. So the thing is, you should be a partner of Palo Alto. And your email, your organization email address is a part of this support portal, means you have access of this portal at least. So you have to go into assets, where you can just register your device with the serial number. And in Palo Alto, it's have a like 11 digit of serial number. It's all numbers actually. Okay, that serial number you have to enter. After, you can activate the license by basically putting the authorization codes. Okay, so like this, we will activate these firewalls generally. If you want to activate the VM firewall, what, go into the support portal, in assets, add a VM series authentication code linked to the, like this, you can basically log in for that. When you register these VM devices, what you need, you have to basically, let me go into my VM. You have to basically need these things. You have to put your CPU ID, UUID, because when you will put these details, after that only your VM basically get the serial number. By default, it will not get any serial number. Let me just show you here. I have this particular firewall. So let me log in on this firewall, admin at 123. If you see in this firewall, you will not able to see any serial number, because this was a licensed firewall. That's why. Let's wait here for some time. So these are the few things which I want to cover with regards to your Palo Alto firewall updates, registration and all, right? If you see Global Protect client, this is the place from where you can basically check for the, if there is any latest Global Protect software available. These things you can able to check here. If you go into this support, actually, support thing is also having some importance actually. Let me just explain you something. So the thing is, guys, if you want to generate the tech support file, because when you open the tech case, right, you need a tech support file. So the thing is, you have to click on this one and it will generate the tech support file. If you want to get the dump file, you can generate the dump file. It will basically create a dumps file, and that dump file having more granular information, guys. These are the links. If you want, if you click on this link, like register the device, put your username and password, it will take you towards the support side actually. Support home, retrieve, register device, contact us. These are the contract actually, 25/7 phone support and all these kind of things you can check from here, guys. Okay, so let me just see. Still, yeah, I have got the UI. So the thing, if you see this device, it is not having any serial number, and when you, and also your device also, you will also not see any serial number here, but you will see these CPU ID and UUID, and we will use these IDs for registering our BM devices, guys, into the Palo Alto support portal. Okay, we also need to define software version on the support portal website. So there are so many things. It's very easy. When you will do these things, you will get to know everything. Actually, it's very easy and quick. Okay. Also, guys, I forget to explain you these commands. There are a few commands. If you want to manage your manage your configuration, if you want to manage this particular whatever we have seen here, right? All these things you want to manage by CLI, you can use this command save config. It will save the configuration. It's equals to the save named config. You can also export them by using TFTP. So if you are having any TFTP, you can export the configuration. You can also use SCP for exporting your configuration. You can import that config from TFTP. You can import the config from the by using the SCP. So these are the few commands. Also, I will put these commands, guys. So don't worry, put that. So these are the few commands which we generally use for exporting the config and importing the configuration into our devices. Now, let me also go into the device tab. And what I can do now, because this particular firewall I'm having in EVNG, so what I will do, I'll just get the access of this firewall. Let me log in. Admin at 123. Okay. Admin at 123, I have logins. It's taking some time. I want to show you guys how we can go into the factory reset. If you want to reset your firewall, we can run this command request system private data reset. It will basically take you towards the factory reset. So what I can do, request system private data reset. It will basically reset your firewall with the factory default settings. See, it is just stopping the PAM VM and it will basically do the factory reset. Okay, I have this particular firewall as well, right? So what I will do, if you want to do the password recovery and all these basically hardware level troubleshoot, what you can do, you can also run, there is a one more command which is debug system maintenance mode. It will basically take you into the maintenance mode of your firewall. So what I can do, I will test this functionality with this particular firewall only, this firewall which I'm running in EVNG. Okay, I will test this thing later, guys. So these are the few things which I want to discuss with regards to your day 3 class. Okay, now these are the pending things which I will cover into your second session. So now I'm just giving you the unmute permission.